What's good, YouTube and Twitch? We are live streaming, so I'm sorry if there's any lagging or popping during this. I have the open chat with me for this one because that's what happens on live streams, and we might be like 10 or 11 shots deep. So let's go ahead and get into some brand new cards from Flames of Destruction, the newest set. I see an impressive, imposing boss monster here already, and we're starting with the Link monster having the same arrows as Cold the Talker, and it's a Topologic card. Currently investigating on a more precise translation. This is Topologic, 10 shots deep. Bear with me, 11 actually. Tulisbania. I went Spanish there. I don't know why. A Dark Cybers effect Link. Link 3, 2500. Top, bottom left, bottom right. 2+ effect monsters. So that's pretty easy to acquire. Link Rebo is going to help with that even faster if you're using tokens. If a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, banish that monster and as many spell and trap cards on the field as possible. Oh! And if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each card banished by this effect. We got a Link monster that banishes all spell and traps on the field. Excuse my yelling. Alright, I'm sure it peaked there real bad. What do you guys think of that?
That's pretty strong.
2,500,
okay,
any two effect monsters. The Code Talker just got power creeped out the roof. The chat's already saying rest in peace, Paleo.
Oh man, I mean, if you use this against Pen Demon, it's bad for them.
That is the best Link monster that I have seen in a long time. Oh man.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hey!
Banishing Feather Duster while on summon.
No, it's not Feather Duster. It's both players, right? Banish that monster and as many spell and trap cards on the field. So it's both players. Don't see it as just Feather Duster.
It's a banishing Heavy Storm.
Yeah, banishing Heavy Storm. So it hits both players. You got up, bottom left, bottom right. All right. We're going to the next one. We got 3 new cards here. I can't enlarge their pictures. Looks like a level 3, a level 5 effect monster, and a trap. We got Defra Dragon, a Dark Dragon effect monster, level 3, 1,600. You can only special summon this card, a card with this card's name, with the way written in its first effect once per turn. You can only use this card's second name's effect once per turn. You can special summon this card from your hand by sending one other monster from your hand to the graveyard. So this is the level 3. Okay, so you special summon it by sending a monster from your hand to the graveyard. That has a lot of potential. It's a level 3, so maybe some rank 3 decks, but not with Burning Abyss since it's not a Burning Abyss name. Being a Dark Dragon is kind of cool for anything that was going to require dragons for Link summoning. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 3 monsters with the same name, except this card. So 3 monsters with the same name's unlikely, but from your graveyard, special summon this card from your graveyard. So the second effect, way less likely. You're unlikely to have 3 copies of the same name in your graveyard, no matter what you're... Unless you're sending cards from your extra deck with, like, Tierra or something. I doubt you're going to have 3 cards with the same name. Like, you could have 3 Uns, I guess, in that regard. But I just don't see that being used. The first effect I see being very used. On a different note, DP Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to have a field day with all these new cards. Background Dragon. It's a level 5, 1,600, 1,800. Those stats leave a lot to be desired. You can only use this card's name's effect once per turn. A hard once per turn on a 1,600 level 5. If this card is in your graveyard and you control no cards, you can special summon this in defense position, both this card and 1 level 4 lower dragon from your hand. And if you do, banish this card when it leaves the field. Not that great. Background Dragon can be left in the background. I get that it's something that you're going to be summoning. It seems kind of like you might have some specific things Foolish Burial. It is a dragon like our previous level 3 dragon. But level 3 dragon is much easier to summon. Red Reboot. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's all good. Both the dragons seem really lackluster. The only thing
the first one I see more potential in. Red Reboot. Let me move on here. Red Reboot. It's a trap counter. You can activate this card from your hand by paying half your life points. Jeez, that's a steep cost. Let's see if it's Solemn Judgment-esque. When your opponent activates a trap card, your opponent cannot activate trap cards for the rest of this turn. Also negate the activation if you do set it on the field. You're paying half your life points to reset the trap and then they can't activate anymore. Okay. Then your opponent can take 1 trap card from their deck and set it Trap Stun seems a little better to me. So these three cards, like you were saying, lackluster is a good term for the three. The most potential I see is in the level 3 one. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely the level 3 one seems the best. The only thing I can see used for background dragon is like send it off Dragon Ravine, then summon it immediately, but that's it.
Yeah, but to summon it immediately, you would need to banish 3 monsters with the same name in your graveyard. The special summon is from your hand by sending a monster.
It's the other one, the level 5, that says when you control more cards. Oh, no, wait, no, then you have Dragon Ravine. Never mind. Whoopsies.
Yeah. All right. Oh, this looks like Trickstars. It looks like 3 Trickstars. We have 3 new Trickstar cards. Ooh. All right, we got a Link monster. It's a Link 1. A Link 1. One level 2 or lower Trickstar. Any Trickstar that is level 2 or lower. So that is very specific to some of the newer Trickstars. We have a new level 4 Trickstar. All right. You can use this card's name's second effect once per turn. If this card is Link Shokan, summoned, you can activate this effect. Your opponent draws 1 card. Ouch. If a Trickstar monster this card points to is destroyed and it only has 1 downward arrow, by battle or card effect, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card they have in their hand. That Link monster is very lackluster to me. What's Lilybell's level? Is it 2 or 1?
I think it's 2.
So I guess you could make this with Lilybell, but I still don't like this. I guess one big plus is it's another body on board if you have Reincarnation in your graveyard to go back up into. I guess it helps you link someone into the Link 2 Trickstars easier with the deck, which I could see being useful. Being able to go up into Holy Angel easier. That's the only thing I can see use for this. That looks like a new field spell, and it is. It is a field spell, Trickstar Light Arena. You can only use this card's name once per turn. If you summon a Trickstar monster, you can target 1 Trickstar monster in your graveyard that was used as a material for that summon. Special summon and defense position, but its effects are negated. So it goes up further. They did have that bigger Link monster, so maybe it's supporting that. This is so far not as good as Light Stage. Second effect, once per turn, you can target a set card in your opponent's spell and trap zone. While this card is in the field spell zone, that set card cannot activate till the end phase. Your opponent must activate it during the end phase, or else return it to the hand. So that's the same second effect as Light Stage for Light Arena. The first effect, not quite as good as the Trickstar Light Stage, but I can see you activating Light Stage, activating the second, Link summoning another Trickstar monster, and summoning again. So I can see potential in this because you can already activate the Light Stage and then summon this and activate this on another back row. I can see those stacking being pretty big.
Doesn't Stage...
Oh, go ahead.
Doesn't Stage send the set cards to grave? Not
during the end phase. So, like, if you activate this, you target another back row and do it during the end phase as well. Oh no, this one returns it to the hand. You're right.
Yeah, that's
so
what I was going to say.
Sorry, 10 shots.
Stage destroys it, I think.
Yeah, so Stage destroys it. This one actually is not the same. Sorry. Thank you, open chat, for catching me. Returning it to the hand is much different. I was just reading it off and it sounded the same. It's not the same. It is much worse. This field spell is lackluster, and it feels like they're making this to hit stage almost. Oh, that's rough. Ooh, we see some Elemental Lords next. Oh, that light one. That's exciting. But first, the last Trickstar card, a level 4, 1400, 1900. You can only use this card's name's first effect once per turn. You can discard a Trickstar card, then target a Trickstar Link monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So they're really promoting the higher Link Trickstar cards here with these cards. The second effect, each time a card or cards is banished from your opponent's graveyard, inflict 200 damage to them for each. So banishing cards from your opponent's graveyard, that's not the biggest punishment. The first effect, again, helping you access Link summoning. All 3 of these seem to help you Link summon Trickstar cards. Elemental Lord here. All right, we've got Force Rage, the Elemental Lord. Light Fairy, special summon effect, 2800. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by having exactly 5 light monsters in your graveyard. You can only use this card's name's first effect once per turn. So that's aren't magical, it's light. Trickstars are light. A lot of decks could use this. When this card is special summoned, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls. If this face-up card leaves the field, skip the battle phase of your turn. So it's Regeki in a monster form, 2800. It's not the worst card. Light's probably one of the best archetypes, or types, as you will, as there is. So that's a huge boost to Light Sworn as well. Trickstars, leave in the comment section down below what else you'd use this at. We got Element Saber Willard, also a light monster, a level 6, 2400. You can use this card's name's first effect once per turn. You can send 2 other monsters from your hand to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. So any 2 other monsters, that's actually a lot of potential. While this card is in the monster zone, the following effect, apply the following to Elemental Saber and Elemental Lord monsters you control according to the attributes of Elemental Saber monsters sent to the graveyard to activate this effect. So this supports all the Elemental Lords. Earth and Wind, they cannot be destroyed by battle. Water and Fire, they cannot be destroyed by card effects. Light and Dark, they cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. That is pretty big. They got a generic graveyard support that can be milled to the graveyard and then activated by sending 2 monsters from your hand to the graveyard. Very specific summoning condition, but you use your dead cards like Wolf. That's pretty cool. And I see something about...
that's not bad.
Hey, King of Bar, we're here for YouTube right now. All right, Elemental Sabers continue. Element Saber Makani. This is a Wind Warrior effect, level 2, 1300. Once per turn, you send 1 Elemental Saber monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add 1 Elemental Saber or Elemental Lord monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Elemental Saber. Is like Pyrex and them all Elemental Lords? Is like Gameciel an Elemental Lord, or am I stretching here? I think I'm stretching.
The old Elemental Lords, like Grand Soil and stuff, like Grand Soil is an Elemental Lord, so I think they'd have turned this into an archetype.
It has it in the name?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. I can check that right now.
Check? Yeah, check for me while I continue to read. So that's pretty huge. Once per turn, while this card is in your graveyard, you can declare an attribute until the end of the turn. The attribute of this card in the graveyard becomes the declared attribite. So it switches into whatever you need. They're making this a deck, it feels like. Gameciel the Elemental Lord. No, it's a kaiju. Did I say Gameciel? My bad. I meant Mulan Glacia. Oh my god, I'm 10 shots deep. I'm sorry. This is a terrible video. Elemental Saber Mallow, a Fire Warrior effect, level 3, 1700, so beefier stats, /200 instead of 1200. Once per turn, you can send an Elemental Saber monster from your hand to the graveyard, send an Elemental Saber or Lord from your deck to the graveyard, except for Mallow. Once per turn, while this card's in your graveyard, you declare an attribute, and until the end of this turn, the attribute of this card becomes the declared attribute. Again, fueling the Elemental Lords with the Sabers. Can we get refresh page?
They are all Elemental Lords, all the old ones.
The last cards are translated
into an archetype.
So we got more translations in this video. Apparently, it's just going crazy over here. We got Elemental Training. While this card in the Spell and Trap Zone, Temple of the Elemental Lords you control cannot be destroyed by card effects and cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. So this is the continuous trap here, and I'm guessing this is Temple of the Elemental Lords, the field spell. Once per turn, you contribute 1 monster. Special summon from your deck any Elemental Saber monster with a different original attribute than the attributed monster. Okay, this is a full-blown archetype. You can send this face-up card in the Spell Trap Zone to the graveyard, discard your hand, then add an Elemental Lord monster from your graveyard to the hand equal to the number of cards you discarded. That is pretty cool. So you add Elemental Lords from your graveyard to your hand. So you recur your Elemental Lords. But if you've already lost them, I guess that's harsh, but we just got a Foolish Burial for them, right? So, in monster form, you send them from your deck to your graveyard with Mallow here. So we got synergy, is what you're saying. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Number 3, you can send this face-up card in your Spell and Trap Zone to the graveyard, discard your entire hand, then add an Elemental Lord monster from your graveyard to your hand, equal to the number of cards you discarded. Oh, monsters, plural. Okay, so you can change your types, activate 1 because it's very powerful, then do that. Did Grand Soil get banned in the TCG or the OCG, not the TCG?
I think we had it banned here, but I think they still have it.
Oh, okay, so we're kind of screwed on that. All right, we're investigating whether or not the temple is quite small. Okay, Temple of the Elemental Lords, the field spell that we were just talking about that gets protected by the trap. We got monsters you control gain 200 attack and defense for every attribute of monsters in your graveyard. Remember the changing attributes, that's important. It looks like it's tying the deck together with huge attack boost. Once per turn, you can add an elemental saber monster from your deck to your hand, then skip the battle phase of your next turn. So already you might, if your cards get destroyed, you're already skipping that battle phase, but that seems a bit harsh for its gaining add. I actually really like that in a field spell. There's a drawback to your adding. That's actually really cool. Once per turn, an elemental saber monster you control or have in your hand would activate its effect by sending cards from your hand to the graveyard. You can send an elemental saber monster from your deck to the graveyard instead. So cost, oh my gosh. And we wrap up Flood with some Miscellaneous-y. Check back soon. The Monarch's Readvent spell equip. You can activate one card with this card's name per turn. Activate this card by targeting one monster in your graveyard with 2,400 attack and 1,000 defense, or 2,800 and 1,000 defense. Special summon to end of his position. If you do equip this card to it, but that monster's effects are negated. So you get a monster to the field. The quick monster can be tributed as 2 tributes for a tribute summon. Monarch support in the form of monarchs already being sent to the graveyard, such as Kuraz. You're allowed to tribute it for 2 monsters no matter what, not caring if it's tribute summoned. That's pretty darn cool. Monarch support 2K17, 2K18, boys. The elementals are a really cool archetype. Sorry, I'll let you guys talk in just a second for the end of this video. We got the Elemental Lords. The Trickstar support seems to support Link Summoning. Doesn't really help what they currently do. If Trickstars get hit, I see where it's going to help it and keep it balanced. The Dragons, lackluster. Oh man, this Topologic card is nutter butters. Any 2 effect monsters with 3 links. It's going to banish all your opponent's spell and traps in your own and then deal damage. That is crazy. They should have limited it by like stopping the battle phase or something, I feel. But that's insane. So what do you guys feel in the open chat about these cards?
My favorite deck got support. I got Monarch support. I'm a happy man.
Is this monster in there? This level 4 monster? I feel like it might not have been in there yet.
It's not in there yet, no. It's on the list.
So this will be updated later. I'll link it down below for you guys. Anything else from the open chat? King of Bar, Bosch, anybody?
The new topological
refresh it.
It just got
translated.
It's just going to enable so many.
Oh, you said it just got translated here?
Oh.
Yeah, it did. Refresh the page.
All right, I'm refreshing. All right, end of video. We got the Steel Batalon Dragon. Dark Dragon special summon effect. Level 4, 2,000/0. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by the first effect. You can only use this card's first effect once per turn. If 3 or more cards are in the same column, you special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, destroy all other cards in the column. Nice. Well, this card's in the monster zone. Unused zone in this card's column cannot be used. That's interesting. I like that it wipes the column. Still not the best card, but interesting for level 4, 2,000.
It's more interesting the further down you go the list, like of the effect.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely did get better. I like the Elemental Lord archetype. The Topological Bomber is the best card, obviously, in all of this. Trickstars help Link Summoning. The Elemental Lords, I'm mixed. It seems like it's coming together. You can abuse your current battle phase and skip your next, and then if your cards get destroyed during your opponent's turn, you don't even care about skipping your battle phase. So that's kind of cool, and it's really cool to see a light Elemental Lord. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully this didn't pop and lag too much. Thank you, Open Chat, for being there, and sorry for being 10 shots deep during this video. Not really sorry, though.